Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. So some of you guys have been asking me if I could show you my book collection, right? Um, there's no particular order. Well, I guess, but I didn't put these in order. Now, every part of my life I read, right? Like, start in 2018. I started reading. And in fact, I told some of you guys this story of I had a dream. And in my dream, it was like I was living in this complex. It was a like a luxury high rise. And across from my window, it was another luxury high rise. And in that dream, it was a father and a son. They was like Indian descent. And I was able to look in their window and I seen like so many books, like on their bookshelves. And this was before the time like I would buy books really. And well, to be frank, I wouldn't buy hardly any. I wouldn't buy no books, okay? I was too busy caught up watching Lifetime and stuff like that. So what happened was I had seen, the father and the son with so many books on a bookshelf. And this was after I had my spiritual awakening. And, our dreams, they mean something. So I remember I had went online and I had put in like dream interpretation or something. And I forgot what the lady said, but it was a cow in a dream. It was a lot of stuff in a dream, but what really stood out the most was books, like all these books that was on a bookshelf. And I couldn't see the name of the books because the books, they had like, those cloth covers back in the day when you went to school. If you was fancy, you had the cloth covers, not the paper covers, the cloth cover, when we had the Rap Hour books, right? And so the color of the cloth that was on the books was the color of the book The Alchemist, all right? So that was like my first read, like when I started investing in books back in 2018, The Alchemist, okay, Pablo Coelho with Diego, really, really good, really good. Then we have Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks. This book is really, really good. It has processes in them that you can do to shift your vibration, okay? Then Trust by Miss Iyanla Vanzant. This book is really, really good. It talks about the mastering the 4 essentials, trust in self, trust in God, trust in others, and trust in life, right? Really, really good. I read that book several times. Three Magic Words by Yor Anderson, really good. It has meditations in here. Actually, Wayne Dyer is he has like a sleep meditation that is quoted from Three Magic Words. And Three Magic Words, it has like questions in here, like every successful person, wealthy person, like pretty much we all have the same exact questions. Why am I here? What's my purpose in being here? And it was another one, I forgot. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. Okay. I read some of this. I didn't read the whole thing. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I did read some of that. Okay. Like when I tell you, every part of my life, whenever I was going through something, what I would do is, and I like to say growing through stuff, I would go on YouTube and watch videos and then buy books. Go and buy books. Because seeking knowledge, right? Seeking information and stuff like that. And that's how you really know if you want your life to change. Because you're going to do things differently. You're not going to keep doing the same exact thing. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Now, I read a little tiny bit of it. Didn't read all of it. Most of the books that I have, I read them and reread them and reread them a lot, okay? And I'm going to show you guys the ones that I keep rereading. Asking It Is Given, that's definitely one of the ones. Robert Kiyosaki, Fake Money, Fake Teachers, Fake Assets, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, really, really good. Absolutely love this book. It talks about the great, was it the Great Depression? No, I think it was. Was it the Great Depression? I believe so. When they took gold off the standard, off the market. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki have all of that in his book. He also have the 4 ways that people earn. Okay, employees, let me see, self-employed, which he states that if you self-employed, you pay the highest bracket of taxes. And what else? I think it's investors or something. But honey, it's a good book. Okay, We Are Not the Same. This basically talks about how white people and black people, like our genetic makeup is completely different. All right, I read that book several times as well. And this is one of the things that I'm going to say. At first, I was like, certain books I'm not going to show you guys because I'm not there any longer, like with that belief. But I said, I don't know where some of you guys are on your journey and stuff. And so if one of the books, if you read the books and it could turn on a light bulb to get you to, you wanting to master yourself, self-mastering is very, very important. Okay, that's like the your shadow side, right? Facing your shadow side. So, yeah. Then Dan Millman, man, this book, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, was so, so good. Hands down. They even have a movie about this. It's about a kid that was I believe in college, and he had met like sort of like a mentor, and his mentor pretty much was telling him like certain things to do because he played sports and stuff, and he became better. But the mentor always also told him like, don't eat no meat, no processed fruit, no meat, no sugar and stuff like that. The mentor always pretty much was telling him like, he has superpowers, like he can do whatever it is. And then Millman, he has another book. I forgot the name of that other book. Letters to Socrates, I think it's called, something like that. You Are a Badass, really, really good. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jean Scenario. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Absolutely good book. When I tell you that book is good, so it talks about you living your life. Stop doing what other people want you to do, right? Like you have to stop living someone else's nightmare, because and oftentimes it can be your parents, right? They want you to go to school for this, want you to do that and stuff because maybe they felt like they didn't get the opportunity to do it. And now they pushing you to do something that you don't want to do. You got to live your life. Great book. You Are a Badass. Another book, African Holistic Health by Lily Africa, and recommended by Dick Gregory. Good book. It has herbs in there, recommendations. I'm not a doctor, okay? But it has herbs in here. It has your zodiac signs. It has a lot of stuff in here. A lot. Remedies for whatever it is that you may be going, sickness or whatever it is. Your Defiant Teen. Now, when I was going through stuff with my children, I would definitely also get books as well. And I think I read some of this. I don't think I read much of it. Now, Can't Hurt Me Now, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins, absolutely great book. Master Your Mind and defy the odds. Okay, I remember I read this book, man. Oh my goodness. This was like really, really a good read. So good. I remember when I first got this book, okay? I mean, it was really, really good. Talks about David Goggins, like his upbringing and stuff like that, how he grew up. His father was like really, really abusive. And they had money. I believe they lived in Buffalo, New York. And they lived on a block where, as though the block, the area, everybody had money, so to speak. And his father owned several businesses. His father owned a skating rink. His father was like really, really abusive though, like beating on his mother. And then I believe David Goggins like tried to jump in, and then the father would beat the crap out of him. And then, David Goggins, he would do stuff like for attention, like when he was in school and stuff. And he talks about how he grew up in Indiana and stuff like that. Great book. If you wanna start like looking at your life like in a different aspect and start changing your life, okay, I highly recommend you guys get some of these books. All right. God Works Through Faith. Definitely a book that I had read. I remember standing outside waiting for the train. And this book was so good. Honey, I was crying. Okay. God Works Through Faith. Really, really good, by Dr. Robert Russell. Now, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. Absolutely love it. Rich people, they don't work for money. They work for like they passion. Right? I mean, this is really, really good. Another thing that Robert Kiyosaki say is like, why are you saving money when they printing money? Right. And this, a lot of questions that Robert Kiyosaki asks, and also in his book, he talks about principles. Okay. Like principles of this here universe, and he talks about God a lot. So Robert Kiyosaki book is really, really amazing. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. I had got this recommendation from my mentor, Bob Proctor. Also, I had heard Les Brown talk about this book. This book is really, really good. How Viktor Frankl grew up, and went into a concentration camp. And he basically said, the guards couldn't get him to think anything that he didn't want to think, right? And it's pretty much mentalism, okay, which is like one of the hermetic principles, right? Mentalism, mind. Also, Lasso. Okay, so this is the toe. Now, I had got this from Wayne Dyer, one of the recommendations, and I think I had read a page of this or so. Didn't even read, I didn't read much of this. Another book is The Happiness Hypothesis, Finding Modern Truth in Ancient Wisdom. I did read some of this, didn't read all of this neither. Dick Gregory, Natural Diet for Folks Who Eat, Cooking with Mother Nature. Definitely read this multiple times. I mean, this book was really, really good. It talks about how Dick Gregory, how he would fast for months upon months. And he has like recommendations in here as well, like, some of the things that you should do for your health and stuff. Also, Maya Angelou, Gathered Together in My Name. Now, in this book, it talks about like how Maya Angelou, she was messing with this guy. I think the guy was married or something. Honey, this when I was like, in my drama era. Okay. All right. But this was a good book. All right. Really, really good. Now, Through My Eyes, my sister gave me this book. This is a brother from Newark, New Jersey. And I read some of that. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book, it talks about having a burning desire. What else? Burning desire, persistence. What else? Let me see. It has a lot of stuff in here. Okay. Like, if you think that riches is going to come from hard work and it's something else, then you are completely wrong. Okay. Good book. Every successful person that I know, okay, always recommend Think and Grow Rich. Okay. Always. Oh, and Decision. Talks about decision too. It has like a lot in here. Lynn Tawler, Dear Sonala, I think that is Letters to My Daughter I Never Had. This is really good. For the ones that's out there, you keep choosing certain types of men in your life, okay? This is Judge Lynn telling women, all right, who was in her courtroom, pretty much she had wrote a book about them, and she's giving you advice on, like, if she was as if a mother. Mayat Philosophies, definitely a good book as well. This talk about the principles. It talks about the Bible in here, like the different people that the Bible was talking about. Really, really good. Sacred Woman. I read, I think, like a few of this, not a whole lot, but this has meditation in here. It has healing in here. It talks about the feminine body, mind, and also your spirit. Richard Branson, Losing My Virginity. Okay, this book, I read some of it a long time ago. All right, who knew? I think I got this from my aunt, I think. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, who knew? It has a lot of remedies in here, like around their house and stuff like that. Like what you could do for dandruff. And it has like so many remedies. The Habits of Highly Effective People. Really, really good. I read a few pages of this. It talked about his son. The author also talked about personal development and what pretty much was the distinguishing difference between the successful people. Really good. Beyond Knowledge. Didn't read all of this. The Isis Paper by Francis Cress Welsing. I did read some of this. The Keys to Color. That's when I was like, I want to say when I was I doing the Nation of Islam? I don't know, but I did read some of that. John Maxwell, Becoming a Person of Influence. This when I was in network marketing. Working with the Law by Raymond Howell. This was good. It talks about the 11 forgotten laws. Bob Proctor had recommended this. Dr. Spokes, Baby and Child Care. Dan Pena had recommended this. Dan Pena is like wealthy. He lives in a castle, I think in England somewhere, and he has like many videos on YouTube. Really, really good. Residue, Surviving and Overcoming the Stains of Generation Curses and Soul Ties by Debbie London. Debbie London, her books is really good. In fact, I remember I had hit Debbie London up because I was so inspired. And I wanted her to pretty much be the publisher of my book that I had wrote. And I wrote the book. I just didn't publish it. So, Many Lives, Many Masters by Bryant West. This is pretty much talking about a psychologist, the true story of prominent psychiatrist, his young patient and past life therapy that changed both their lives. It talks about pretty much past lives. Give yourself credit. Money doesn't grow on trees. I had brought this when I was into the whole consumer law thing. The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science. Bob Proctor recommended this. The Library of Spiritual Wisdom. America's Secret History. I think Young Pharaoh had mentioned this or something. Power by Robert Greene. Read some of this. I really couldn't get deep into this. This talks about power, ego. Okay, contract law for dummies. Again, when I was into consumer law. Personal Finance for Dummies. This one I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start changing my mindset when it comes to money. Where Science and Magic Meets, Worldwide Evil and Misery. These are the books that, well, Where Science Meet, Bobby Hemmett had spoke about this book in one of his lectures. Okay, but Young Pharaoh had recommended this Worldwide Evil and Misery. I don't even think I probably read like 1 or 2 pages. Alkaline Herbal Medicine. This book is definitely good. So it has like the herbs and stuff in here. What the herbs do. This is like pretty much from Dr. Sebi's teachings and stuff like that. And some of these are, from some of Dr. Sebi's compounds, but the author just changed some of the things. The Way of the Superior Man. Now, I had brought this. My son, it's so funny. My oldest son, he was like, that book is really for men. Okay. But I brought it, and I definitely read some of it. It's been so long since I read some. Soul Healing Miracles. Didn't read all of that. The Sea of the Soul. Okay. I don't think I read all of that. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I did read that by Deepak Chopra. Fearless Networking. Read some of that. That's when I was in network marketing. 1984 by George Orwell. Read a little bit of that. Paradigms. I read some of this. Joe Arthur Barker talks about how we have a paradigm and, basically you have to be willing to change, right? Like, don't keep doing the same exact thing. The way businesses are ran today, they're not ran the same way as 10 years ago. So basically, be willing to change. By any greens necessary, this when I was on my vegan. Your Facade is showing Debbie London, a divorcee perspective on accepting relationships, red flag, and the first time. Book of Affirmation by my homegirl Anna Rees. I read some of that. Deep State. I don't think I read all of that. Another book Young Pharaoh had recommended. Conscious Creator. And this is Young Pharaoh. I'm talking about like back in the day, Young Pharaoh. Conscious Creator, 7 Steps to Self-Mastery. Is it me? Is it my hair? Is it my skin? Is it my eyes? Or is it you? What was her name? Oh, gosh. It was, dang it. It starts with a J. I forgot her name. Can't think of her name. But I read some of it. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. One of my favorite reads, okay? Now, this is one of the books that I reread. Absolutely love it. The Richest Man in Babylon. If you want to start being more responsible with your money, this is like a financial literacy book, I want to say. A lot of successful people recommend this book, okay? It talks about the principles that the ancient Babylonians would use, okay? And in this book, it talks about a guy who he was making, I think, the tablets or something, and he was making the tablets for this real wealthy guy. And he wanted to know how the wealthy guy became wealthy, right? And he made a bargain with the wealthy guy, like, oh, if I make these tablets within, 1 day or so, you got to tell me the secret to wealth and stuff. So he did it. And the guy was pretty much telling him the secrets to wealth. Like, pretty much you have to save 10% of your earnings. You have to pay you first. Also, you have to invest, but you go to people that are successful in their investments, right? You go to people that knows about the stuff. Pretty much, you don't go to a plumber if you want to learn how to become a dentist. This book, is really good. I read that multiple times. Don't believe, but the books that I said I read multiple times, it's not like, oh, I'm going to read it one time. This is an ongoing thing. Like, if you seek knowledge, you will find it. Okay, like if you really want your life to change, your life is going to change, but you definitely have to do something different. Don't believe everything you think. My son gave me this book. Well, he let me borrow it. This book was really, really good. It talks about overthinking. It talks about thoughts. How the thoughts that we tend to have is not, pretty much our enemy or anything like that. Is if you are giving those thoughts power, right? Thoughts just come into our mind, but you don't have to give them power by keep on getting emotionally involved in the thoughts, right? Also, the 4 agreements to anybody that's out there, okay? Self-esteem is on a 1. I highly recommend you get this book. Be impeccable with your words. Don't take things personally, okay? Because it's really not about you. You think that people are talking about you only if you knew that they was projecting. They just telling you exactly how they feel about themselves. Excellent book. The Mastery of Love. You're a person who can't get over why your parents may have done what they have done. This is by far a great book. All relationships or anything pertaining to relationships that you want to heal. Mastery of Love, really good. Matter of fact, all of Don Miguel Ruiz books are really, really good. Now, I just have 2 of his books, but these 2 are excellent. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, really good. Another book that a lot of successful people, especially in the personal development space, always recommend. Psycho-Cybernetics, okay? How to start changing your self-image. How to focus on what you desire for your life as opposed of, what is currently showing up for in your life. Stella Adler, The Art of Acting. Bob Proctor definitely recommended this book. It talks about acting as the person that you desire yourself to be. The Prosperity Bible. Now, this book right here, I read every day. This book, I read every day. The greatest writings of all times on secrets to wealth and prosperity, Napoleon Hill. And the book, so this is a book within a book. It has many, many other books inside here. This will probably be my first recommendation. No, actually, it would be The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The Game of Life, How to Play It, The Science of Getting Rich. Now, The Science of Getting Rich, I read every day. I made a vow to myself that I would read The Science of Getting Rich every day until I hit a certain income bracket. Okay, this book is really. When I tell you a book is really good, this one is really, really good. Okay, it also has As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, the Holy Bible. Okay, I remember when I first became a little aware of why I tend to do the things that I do. And, you hear spiritual people talking and stuff like that. This is when I would be listening to, certain people. And I would be like, the Bible, when people would say that was, spiritual or whatever, that wasn't into religion, and they would recommend a Bible. And I would be like, the Bible, because my mind automatically went to, the Bible is associated with religion, so I'm not getting it. But I actually have 2 Bibles. Okay. Brian Tracy, No Excuses. I just got this book. This book is by far so good. Honey, I mean, it is so good because it has things in here, processes in here that you can do. Like, so you could visualize. How would your life be in 6 years? What do you want for you and your family life? What are some of the places that you would visit? What would be your income bracket, in a few years? So I highly recommend this book. This book had got me moving yesterday, okay? Now, the books are only as helpful as you are willing to do the processes in the books. If you're not willing to do the processes, don't get the book. Now, also, The Mystic Path to Cosmic Power, another great read. Man, really, really good book by Vernon Howard. How can a prisoner escape a prison he don't know he's in? Man, this book is good. It talks about awareness. Like, if, some people feel like, oh, well, I'm spiritual now, so I'm not supposed to go through anything. Let me tell you something. You have a spirit, and you're going to go through things. As long as you're here in this physical body, you're going to experience challenges, okay? But the challenges, they don't break you. And I read this book several times. This and The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, highly recommend. Like, those two are my favorite reads. And then it would be The Prosperity Bible. The Magic of Thinking Big. Book so good, honey, it's torn. Okay? Absolutely love this book. Now, the person who recommended this book, it was, what's his name? Kevin Tredone. Okay? Kevin Tredone had talked about this book. Okay? He had a playlist. Oh, I forgot the name of the playlist. But I think I still had a playlist in my phone somewhere. And he had like a recommendation of books. Really, really good. This book is so good. Many times I would carry this book on the train with me as I was going to do YouTube videos. And and a lot of the books I carry on the train with me and I read them. Because I'm always studying. I'm always in study mode. Okay. Love the essay out of yourself. I want those advertisers on my videos. Okay. So, because if you cussing and stuff, certain ads won't be placed on your video. So love the essay out of yourself because your life depends on it. I read some of this. Okay. This was back in 2018. Look, she even got in here. Pablo Coelho, The Alchemist. And when you want something, or the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. I got The Alchemist from Ralph Smart. Yeah, peace. Infinite waters diving deep. Once again, all right. Back in 2018. The Way to Love by Anthony DeMello. I also got this book from another content creator. Aaron Doughty. Love Aaron Doughty work. Okay. And this book talks about, profit and loss. It has a lot of great stuff in here. Relationships. Love is unconditional. So, we've been thinking love is conditioned. So, I hope you guys got something from this. Now, I'm going to give you guys my top 3 books that I would highly recommend.